Many of Bailey's books, most of Bailey's books, were about the parables of Jesus, and specifically the parables of Luke's Gospel in the 15th chapter. The three parable stories that are told in that chapter are the story of a lost sheep, and the finding of that sheep, and then the story of a lost coin, and then finally the classic story of the prodigal son. Bailey kept going back to this same chapter of Scripture, and by the time that he's writing his fourth book on the subject of Luke 15, he feels the need to justify it. And he says in the preface of his fourth book dealing with this subject that he felt like a man who had a garden. A walled garden that he had been enjoying for years and years. And every day he would go out to the walled garden, he would sip his tea, and he would enjoy the plants and the flowers. But one day he noticed that there was a faint line drawn on one of the plastered walls of the garden. And he realized that the line was in the shape of an arch. And so he begins to dig through the arch, and he discovers that there's a door there. And he opens the door, and it leads into a room in which there is a chest of gold. And so this is the way Bailey explains why he keeps going back to Luke 15. He keeps making fundamental discoveries about Luke 15. And then some 11 years later, he writes another book on an aspect of Luke 15. And he feels the need to justify it all over again. And this time he refers to himself as an archaeologist who keeps going back to the same tell year after year, and each year he digs down a little deeper to a different level, always with the hope that someday he's going to discover, say, a mosaic on the floor, or perhaps even a library. And of course, that's what he feels that he's been doing with Luke chapter 15.